Just to review what's Negeya right now. What's Negeya is, he's explaining the Shagas Arya, the cry of the lion, the very psukim that refer to the lion's cry. And what he began to explain, this is all connected to Elul. Shofar, Arya stands for Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippurim, and Hoshana Rabbah. So it's all this shaiga, this cry. It comes from the Pnimis HaNeshama. So he began the whole beer in the Aryeh, who is essentially the Serafim, one of the Dalet Chais of the Merkava, Pnei Aryeh ala Yamin, and Pnei Shoir ala Smoil. Yamin, of course, is Chesed, and Smoil is Gevurah. So Serafim Imdi Mimaloi, that's because he explained that not only are they're massive, they feel their chayas, and they feel that the chayas invested in them is a ha'orah, which creates the gewalt and the longing, the gaguyim, for the course, the uncompromised, unfiltered Eibishter's revelation, and hence the shaiga. So the shaiga comes, the cry, the gewalt, stripping their havana vasaga, because they have havana vasaga in the ha'orah. They understand that the ha'orah is a result of the tzimtzum of blikva, like we're talking now. It's certainly much richer and experiential. They experience this. They're experiencing the chayus that's in them. And they are masik, they understand, because they experience it. Their understanding is a very deep and profound, experienced hasaga that's pay along their midas, that there's the gewalt for the blikva, for Ein Sof, for the Eibishter as he is, unfiltered, undisguised, which is all the life force invested in them is the merest glimmer of Elikus. So this spells the Gewalt. Now the word is, I waited for you to come to say this, give a little shtickle hasby here, which occurred to me in the middle of the night. I didn't look up this word. Maybe it says otherwise. It's the following explanation. We're a little bit stuck here because he said, as you just heard now, that the Pnei Aryeh is Biyamin, Pnei Shoir is on the left side of the faces, the four faces that were turning, the whole description there of the Makava. So that's Chesed and Gevurah. And he said, because the Pnei Aryeh, it's Pashtus HaChayis, is Masig the Chayis, therefore that engenders the Gewalt, as we just explained, recognizing that he's masig is only a ha'orah, and it's a result of the tzimtzum, and therefore the gaguyim and the longing for the Eibishter himself, without unfiltered, unlimited. A question. Then he said that Aryeh is b'gematria gvura. And he goes on to say that the ava of the engendered by this is bonus is rish beyesh. Now, question is, but that's b'chlal a gvura thing. And he went on to say that the Pnei Shoir, so the Shoir is left, is smoil, that's Bachlal Gevurah, that's fire, and yet he said that the Ava that is affected in the Pnei Shoir is Kamayim, Shuv. A little bit of a contradiction here, right? So we gave the pat answer, everything is being scholarless, etc. But L'chuda, I really had to look up. The Torah in Ches, I think it's brought. But he started saying, I want you to look at also Tzorech Iyun, exactly what this means. The second paragraph of his Gimel, on page Shin Lamed Zayin. Hine mibchina shayis ha'aryeh nimshech inyan ha'shayge b'chol dalet chayis merkov. It's the Havana of the Malachim, Serafim, Aryeh, it's one thing. That Shaige, this cry, this Gewalt that we just described, so that is Nimshach to the other Chayis and Markav. What does this mean? They're drawing on his. So that's the Vart over here. The Choda, at least part of it. The Vart here is that this is bonus of Serafim, and therefore Oimdi Mimali is the Baal Shem Tov explained, because the Havana, but that's actually put them there, but they're rotzen to be there, puts them there. And so what they are doing is, as it were, they are introducing to the Chayis HaKodesh, the Gewalt of the other ones are all locked in their Ha'arah. But because by him is be spashtus and real understanding, he understands that this is only a Ha'arah. So he has the Gewalt. And he pearls the Gewalt also in the whole, the other Malachim as well. So let's understand this a little bit further. The result, therefore, is the opposite, the opposite snu on each one. These bonuses here is not in the direct chayus, something which is beyond them. The Srafim has this true appreciation of the insignificance of the ha'ara that's invested in creating them, and that as gewaltig as it is, they grasp, appreciate, and therefore want to be connected to the Eibishter beyond all limitations, beyond their limitations, and therefore Srafim the Malay. So this engenders by them they want to consume it. Called Srafim. They want to consume their Metzias and unite Klois HaNefesh, Kiloim with Elikus. They have that response to this is bonus because by them it's Yamin, the highest, the Masik to begin with. Because they understand and they understand that this is our order. So it's definitely because it's Yamin. And because they truly appreciate their standing and level, that engenders the longing. That even though Yamin Bachlal is what is Mayim. Now we're talking Ari's Begematria, Gvura, and Avakirish B'Eish, and the Shoy, who is Smoil, which is usually Eish, and Gvura is Kamayim. Answer. Make this clear. That's referring to when we say the metaphor of Mayim and the metaphor of Gvura, which is associated with Yamin and Smoil. That is the level that they are at. The level that they are at. So the Pnei Aryas B'Yamin, that thing of Mayim, Mayim means it's absorbed. He understands his highest. Here the word is, now he's going beyond his highest. Because he appreciates his highest, there's the Gagoyim to beyond. That engenders the burn, the fire. That's the Chiddush that he wants to burn up his level, not satisfied by remaining by his appreciating the beautiful Metzias that he is and the fact that it's God's creation. But he understands it. They understand that this is only a ha'ara. This is not the truth of the Eibishter's blikvul. And therefore, because by them is pashtus, they understand it's begolui. They really understand begolui what their source is. So that engenders the higher is born, is that flow of elikus, and now comes the fire. It's not the obvious property, it's the latent property. The fire meaning he wants to burn up his level and unite with the Rabbi, hide in his dalshins. The starting point is the overt level thinking of what a fire. It's the fire here, L'chora means of Gevurah, we explained yesterday. Fire is Malamata Lamaila. So when so that's his level. Now the Pnei Shoyer, as it were, the Malachim of Mitzat Smoil, through the Hizbonelus, the Givaldi, just want to make this grow, but the Srafim are screaming. It's a tumult. What's the tumult? What's the tumult? Peter is a beautiful place. What's it about? What's your longing? You're trying to escape. Why are you escaping this beautiful world? You don't understand. We only are order, and it's the Gevaldi of the course, blikvul. How could you be satisfied with your relationship with God where you're just locked into this extremely contained kibbutz matzah? You know there's an Eibishter, but who's the Gagoyim? So he piles this in them to such a degree, this awareness, that because he's of what? Of tzimtzum, the opposite. This awareness, that which is high, okay. But we're here, that's there. It's what's one looking for? Not a complacence, but he makes peace with the matzah. Maskim, the Eibishter is Ligvul, the Gewalt, we only are order, we hear what you're saying, we appreciate you as bonus, but this is where we are. So in that sense, it's mine, settled, sure. Doesn't pale the shaig is only the army. And it comes out. Why? Because only he really, because Bispashtus, the highest that is invested in him is truly experienced. And therefore we understand this is only our order. Because of his true understanding of his highest. By the Pnei Shor, to begin with, the highest is B'tzimtzum. As if to say, the Pnei Shor says, what's the Gewalt? We are B'tzimtzum to begin with.
Even though they have been and they have an understanding of bina, they understand they still have they don't have the
gaguyim. Why? Because they don't have the same understanding of. To begin with, they're saying we don't even understand our highest. Now you tell me you don't understand Blikvul, we don't understand Blikvul. By then, the highest is not being spashtus. It's fully experienced and manifest. It's in the left. It's tzimtzum, smoil, tzimtzum. This is all bina. It's all having havana vasog. It's all bina. It's elam abriya, dominated by bina. And what is this havana vasoga in general? When the havana vasoga is like the Pnei Aryeh, where they really understand the limitation that's invested in them, and then understand this the tzimtzum and the blikvul, the longing for the blikvul. The Pnei Shor to begin with doesn't have this appreciation of his own chayes. He knows the tzimtzum, it's bekivul, it's verkretched. So now you're telling me that this blikvul, okay? It doesn't pale the gewalt, the longing for it, because it doesn't even fully appreciate his own station, his own matzah. Why? Because it's smiled, it's b'tzimtzum. The highest mamut comes in the way of tzimtzum. Whereas the highest mamut, the ha'orah, that comes in the way of chesed, which is the Pnei Aryeh, he fully feels it. So therefore, it's the direct link to the blikvul from which this comes. It's fluid. But for the shor, there's no in the Eilam HaTzimtzum, Eilam HaGvur, it's not a fluid link from one level to the other. So he hears the shaig of the Aryeh. Gewalt. Maybe it's just great. He doesn't even gaguyim to it, doesn't relate to it in the same way. And he takes it in the way of shuv, of isyashus. Then there's the other property that he dafka has, the shor dafka has, that up to us, it's made greater strength than the Aryeh. But it's got to be channeled. It just sits there and grazes. It's channeled, he pales a tremendous, that's the mile of iskafio, whatever. It doesn't go into this property. But a beautiful thing that we learned here about in the world of zoology is, according to Psukim here from almost and Mishnah. Yeah. Who remembers? You tell me a little bit of feedback here. What happened when you hear the ox lowing? It's roar. It's not a roar. It's not a gewalt. So what does it tell you? You don't see it. What's going on with him? He's hungry. He doesn't have his food. When he has what's the lashon of the apasuk? That he has his food and he's quiet. Did you ever hear an ox? The lashon apasuk. Al beliloi. What's beliloi? Remember the type beliloi? Why is it called beliloi bolol?
Mixture.
It's a mixture of stuff in it. It's also some bediuk. It's not. It lacks the purity. No, it's even though it's beliloi. He doesn't see endless food in front of him. He just sees the food he's going to eat now. He's quiet. It's zufrieden. And what was the pasuk by the Aryeh? You can find it there. Contest, we find it first. 41, yeah. It's a rhetorical question. Well, a lion roar if you hear a lion roar in the forest and he doesn't have his prey, that's when he roars. When he has his prey. So bring me out over here, that's the tzimoyin. The Pnei Shor is you give him Vavon the Vasoga, Abish just blikvul, makes peace with it, his gvul. So you give him Havon the Vasoga, you're satisfied. The more Havon the Vasoga for the Pnei Aryeh, the Geval, the less he's satisfied. The more he has his teref, it's in Nitzutik Dusha. As we explained yesterday. The more he connects to Elikus, invested in the world, the more he recognizes that the Shadish is Toyu, the greater the longing for the Eibishter beyond the Shtalshavas. And that is the Gival, that's the Avodah, and as it goes in the same way we have to be misbeinen in before creation. The Avodah of the Strophim and the Chayes HaKodesh. And the last pasuk he brought referred to Knesset Eden. What was the last pasuk in this? The last pasuk, this idea of not being satiated, not being adarab. The greater the gilui, the more the longing. Huh? Eretz Le'Savamayim, says the pasuk. The earth is never satisfied with as much water and it can absorb, and it never gets satisfied. Eretz is Knesset Yisrael, it's Malchus. So Yidden, adarab, the more the appreciation of the chayes that's invested in them and the appreciation of the Blikvul, the greater the Gewalt. It's not like, okay, I got it. It's okay. It's the longing for it. So now that's a wrap to Eis Dalit, yeah? So this thirst and longing, the line rose by Avidus Adam, imagine, what causes the longing and the thirst of the Nefesh Alikis not to be satiated, and mitzad is born in this, as we just learned now, being in haflo as oirin sof, he's being misbein, and in the haflo means a word we encounter all the time. Chassidus.
Wonderment.
Yeah, let's just throw a few words on the table. What would you say, haflo?
Yeah, the connotation, distance.
Pella, wonderment, amazing.
Beyond.
Okay, it's noch. We did the word, amazing is a tired word because it's used all the time. But amazing means that a person is like struck and almost in a state of overwhelmed,
Dumbfounded.
Yeah. So there means burning that flow of itself, that's completely beyond ishtalshalos. Incomparable to the ha'ara that's invested producing them. Not them. Talking about Nefesh Alikis now. So this is Nefesh Alikis is burning. At the end of the mind, but again, yeah. The Nefesh Alikis is
What do we mean by Nefesh Alikis? There's a chelik alikah. Why would that be one? And then there's levels within that.
Right. So the Nefesh Alikis in the guf, yeah.
So that aspect.
What aspect?
The Nefesh Ruach, that.
You were talking about the Nefesh Alikis. It's invested in the body, the Badirin cup. When you think in Lord Chassidus, your godly soul participating. That's the Nefesh Alikis invested in the guf, and who doesn't feel anything overtly. It's all unlocked through his bonnet. Stam is going to start just glancing ahead. The ultimate avodah is to unlock the Yechidah Neshama, which is higher than all these bonnets. But let's get there. That's Krishma Shmonesa. Now we're in Psukkah de Zimra, in the Birchas Krishma. So the Sib, is that clear?
Yeah.
So the first and Nefesh Alikis is again these bonnets in that flow of Insof. As we described earlier about the Serafim. So this affects this great thirst and love and longing like tongues of fire reaching out. And again, the fire is produced by the fuel being consumed. He wants to consume, burn up his distance, the distance he wants to overcome. This, by the way, has to be the love between husband and wife, ish v'isha. Common letters, of course, being ish, and the uncommon letters being Yud-Kei, the Eibishter's name. So, a lot of the Eibishter's there in the relationship, then it's then it's a beautiful relationship. But if you take out the Yud K, it's just destructive. Why is it destructive? Why shouldn't it be? Why shouldn't it be? How do you expect two strangers to get along who are unrelated, different genders and different families, distant, they should be forever? That this possibly happen. 5 minutes it can work when they're enamored with it. Wears up quickly. So it works, dafke, and this thing in of age. It works when each one is ready to burn up the yeshes that separates them, and then unite on this deep essential level. That can only happen when it's the fire that creates the passion and so on. That's what mikveh is, the distance. Mikveh, just want to say this, and you mentioned once before. How the conventional understanding of Taras Mishpach is, it's worth it because anything that's always available, Tainuk Tamidi, ain't a Tainuk. Anything available always loses its Tainuk. Yes means nothing, it is no. Therefore, husband and wife separate, and that honeymoon every month, right? It's an imposition, but it's a valuable one. The Pnimi is not an imposition. It's an actual reflection of what this relationship is. You are two strangers constantly overcoming that distance. Separation and unity, separation and unity. One son can be a get and it can become utter strangers again. There's no relationship like it. There's no relationship with this absolute oneness. You can't divorce a child. You can't divorce a sibling. You can't divorce a parent. You can hate them, but you can't divorce them. And the DNA connection will be forever. Then it's always redeemable. No matter what, it's always redeemable. It's just hardwired. But the pella of marriage is, it's 1 + 1 = 1. Nothing like that, and should not be. It happens elsewhere. It's the most destructive thing. The most injurious. And yet, they can become strangers in a second. Jackie Mason said. In a second. So that's the pella. That's the pella. The Atem they want, big chitzonius, they're not, they're different. And therefore, to create that oneness is a constant avoid of burning up the yeshes. The fuel, reaching out. And then there lies the passion. Not that there lies the flaw, the gewalt. And so mikveh expresses that. Strangers coming together, strangers coming together, strangers coming together. It's not imposition, it's exactly what it is. And the whole Chiddush of the Rogatshel, I told you that gewaltige Chiddush in Niglam, when the Rebbe said, as a kid, we heard the hookup. The good is that Kiddushin is ongoing. Every second you Mekadosh your wife. Not like other acquisitions. You acquire something once, it's called a kinyan, same language. You acquire something once, it's yours. You don't have to reassert your ownership over it. It's yours, al pi halachim, someone to take it away. There's a whole, you can't. To bring a raya. It's done once, over. Kiddushin is mamish ongoing. Every second you're saying, she's agreeing in the whole. And has halachic ramifications. Chaim Brisker told the Rabbi, it's a mazel in bed. Every second is Kiddushin, every second is mazel. He was Chaim Brisker. So let's continue. Wife isn't your friend, although the emphasis is, there is that aspect. She's everything, mother, daughter, friend, and then wife. Yeah, but the other aspects are dimensions of the relationship, just like with the Eibishter. There's the aspect that we are his mother, mashpia on the kurs, Hashem's son, daughter, dove, tamosi, all these aspects in fully resonant marriage. It's multi-layered. It's not just mashpia makabel, husband and wife, not just the fire. There's also the initial mayim. There's even the male connection, female, because we're all multi-dimensional. Just one thing. There's no such thing as heterosexual. We're all elam cotton. We all have every dimension of life within us. Just a question of the dominant components. and then a fully expressed life, all the expression in the Torah appropriate, harmonious way. But there's room for all of them. It's not about suppression. It's about expression in a harmonious, unified way. What's the ramifications to that? In halacha too, in the brutal honesty of halacha, which is the creator, he knows us and made us this way. Okay, now we're digressing for another time. In some Chassidic groups that take it to the extreme, but there's truth to it. A person shaykh to do anything and everything because he's a microcosm of the whole world, and it should be that. So he's supposed to do with it. In marriage, there's all of that finds there. There's animal there. There's friend, mother. There's same gender connection, different gender connection. Everything. You have to work at it. It's to be devoted. That's all. It will express itself. Let's go further. So he's saying now, that this Ka'arya Yishag is Shayach that exists in the Avodah Nefesh Elikis and Nefesh Habam. So how is the Nefesh Elikis? That this bonus and that flow of itself. Al Derech is Baliyel Binyan Avodah Samalach we just described in the previous house. What is the Nefesh Habam? This is bonus. Days and Nasa Gamatzmen Ben Nefesh Habam is. So he's saying number one as follows: when the Nefesh Elikis, the part of me, let's understand what we're talking about. We're talking about us. I didn't know who I am. You have to know who you are. Why? Because nothing happens in isolation. I'm a fusion, a constant Nefesh Elikis, Nefesh Habamis, and Guf. Whatever I'm doing, they're all involved. So if it's a mitzvah, Nefesh Habamis is there kicking and screaming or not, it's part of it. And Aveda, the same thing. Nefesh Elikis is certainly protesting, but we drown it out. So he's saying when a person is born in this Inyan, so there's a part of me, the Nefesh Elikis, that gets this. My job is to be misburning, the whole package that I am. So my Nefesh Elikis, who's thinking now, who's understanding? It's the totality of the person. The Nefesh Elikis is the part of me that when you think and learn, Maimer, and daven as a yid should, is the part of me that it's easily grasps this, that flow. That's my Nefesh Elikis to whatever degree. You shouldn't be sitting with a Geiger counter, am I excited, not excited? That's the last thing that what you want to do. But this is what happens, to whatever degree. So this, he says, is Pearl on the Nefesh Habamis. It's a part of me that's in and all integrated, that's in state of wow and awe and wonder and longing. Because we're an integrated being, it can't help that my conscious self, or the level, it's all conscious, the level of me that it's not my world, godliness, but it's stirred by it. Stirred by it. We're an integrated person, one person, not three people. Four. So four. There's Guf, there's Nefesh Elikis, Nefesh Habam, Nefesh Sichlis. It's one person. It's all layers. It's all layers. Depending on our refinement and our avodah and our toil in our lives, a different part of me dominates my persona. And the Neshama is more revealed or less revealed. So what is he saying now? So saying that this is abundance, pearls, and Nefesh Habamis, Eifon Aleph is as follows. Mitzad Zeh. They say this. Rin Zeh Yesh Beisifan. Eifon Aleph who we're just saying that the Nefesh Elikis is invested, fused with Nefesh Habamis. By Slabshus, by this Achdos, in Slabshus itself, there's two ways. You can put on a garment, you don't become one with it, but then there's this Slabshus, if you fuse, that's the nature of the Nefesh Elikis, Nefesh Habamis. Therefore, if there's a part of me that has this longing, doesn't understand even why necessarily, but the Nefesh Habamis, again, because we're integrated, And the seichel there is swept up in a way. This is beautiful. This is long. It's like not my world, but I enjoy food and sensual things. But the Nefesh Elikis says the truth and the longing for it. And we are one. We are fused. They're inseparable. So there's this effect on the totality of the person. There's even Nefesh Elikis. However, if you said this Paula, are die Paula ist Nefesh Elikis, was man nimmt ihm durch, rak mi bachus. Like being at a Verbrengen. Being inspired. It's induced by the environment. The mashpia, the person, whatever it is, or even your own self. The environment has lifted you, that you're into the Verbrengen, you're there fully, and you're lifted. But he says it's external. So this is not the ultimate avodah that the Nefesh Abam is the conscious self be stirred by the Nefesh Elikis, is the most super conscious part of me that gets this and feels this and has the long. Okay, we'll leave that for tomorrow. It's not Russia.